أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد الله سله الكريم أما بعد Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to my channel Let's Ponder with Dr. Suhail Anwar, and welcome to my series of episodes which is reasons why Muslims are backward. This is the second episode and we'll talk about the good things about the medieval Muslims of the Golden Age. Obviously, the first one was the introduction. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of the main aims of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was that Sahaba Ikram should acquire a lot of knowledge. And there is a very famous hadith that acquire knowledge even if you have to go to China. In other words, acquire knowledge even if you have to go through a lot of hardship. Some of the ulama says that this hadith is only for the Quranic knowledge. I respectfully disagree with that. I think Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam meant for Quranic divine knowledge and the worldly knowledge as well. During just after Jang Badr, there was an issue of the prisoners, and it was decided that the affluent prisoners should give the ransoms before they get the freedom, but those prisoners who are not affording actually the financially not very good standing of those prisoners must teach at least 10 Muslims. Needless to say that they were not expected to teach the divine knowledge, they were expected to teach the worldly knowledge, which was reading, writing and basic mathematics. So that's how deeply Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was involved in their Sahaba to learn the not only the divine knowledge but to have the worldly knowledge as well. That vision which Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had 1400 years ago, unfortunately, is lacking among us today. So let's discuss about the golden age of Islam, which started with Harun al-Rashid. So let's start with Harun al-Rashid. I'll just go through quickly short introduction of different scholars in those days. Harun al-Rashid, born in 763, and he became Khalifa in 786, and he ordered his people to buy the books of wisdom or of science, of philosophy or medicine from different parts of the world, especially from Greece, Rome, some part in Persia and part of India as well, but mostly from Greece and Rome. And all those books were brought into the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, and there were a lot of scholars were there to go through these books. He appointed Al-Kindi, a very big scholar, to see over the translations, especially the Greek philosophy translation into Arabic. And hence the boom of the transformation of the Muslim wisdom started to occur with time. Next, Al-Kindi, 801 AD. He was the first Muslim peripatetic scholar. He was considered as the father of Islamic and Arabic philosophy. He was famous in promoting the philosophy to the Muslim world. He actually introduced the philosophy or to the Muslim world. He became very prominent figure in House of Wisdom, and he was hired by not only Harun Rashid but later some of the Khulafa as well who came. Obviously, they were Abbasids, caliphs. They appointed him as in charge of especially the philosophical tests. Next, Muhammad ibn Zakaria Ar-Razi. He was also called as Raziz, 854 to 925 AD. He was a Persian Muslim polymath and a very prominent figure again in the Golden Age. He was a physician, he was alchemist, chemist, philosopher, and scholar. Besides that, he was an Islamic scholar as well. He was among the first to distinguish between the contagious diseases, and he wrote book on the smallpox and measles, and he provided the signs and symptoms of these two diseases. He also invented the formula of alcohol, hence its Arabic word, and sulfuric acid as well. Next is Al-Farabi. Al-Farabi, 872 AD till 951. He died in 951 AD. He was a Shia Muslim, and he was along with the era of Ibn Sina and Al-Rushd, who was also called as Averroes. He was again a peripatetic scholar and a rationalist as well. He was a bit slightly more towards rationalists as well among the Muslims. He worked a lot on the idea and the philosophy of Plato and Aristotle. He wrote a lot of books actually on these topics, so much so that he earned the title of second master of philosophy. Obviously, the first one was Aristotle before Christ. Next one, Abu Rayan Al-Biruni. I like this gentleman. 973 to 1050 AD. The reason why I like his overall what he did for Islam, he spent almost all of his youth and dedicate himself for the science. So he was a Persian scholar, polymath, and he was a founder of Indology. He was in India, though he was a Persian scholar. He was the father of comparative religion. We think that the comparative religion studies and this science is something quite new, but no, the comparative religion people used to do at that time, even more than 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago at that time. But now again we have started seeing the offshoots of this science as a comparative religion. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, obviously from Afghanistan, he took Al-Biruni at the age of 26 to India, and he told him that he should go there and acquire all the knowledge of that area from the Pandits, and so therefore Al-Biruni learned Sanskrit and other Indian language. I can't pronounce the name of those languages, and he was able to go through their books and their studies of mathematics. They were very good in mathematics and astrology as well, and science of medicine. So he translated all those from the Sanskrit and other Indian languages into Arabic, and then wrote all those books. He invented the radius and he calculated the radius and the diameter of the Earth with a disparity of only 20 to 200 kilometers, which was very good at that time. He saved the life of a traveler at that time, because when the traveler came and spoke to the Sultan and said that he has been to an area where sun never sets, and Sultan got very angry and he thought that this is a blasphemy and ordered to have his head chopped off. Al-Biruni found out and he came to the palace and he explained to the Sultan that this can happen because the earth, the tilt of the earth sometime is in front of the sun in such a way that there is a certain area in the earth where the sun will never set, and he called it as midnight sun. Next is Ibn Sina, also called as Avicenna, born in 980 and passed away 1037 AD. He was a Persian Muslim polymath. He was regarded as the most significant physician, writer, scholar. He was an astronomer as well, and he was a very prominent person in the Islamic Golden Age. He was the father of modern medicine, and he was the most influential philosopher and physician of the pre-modern era. His books were the gold standard books for quite a long time, probably a couple of centuries in European universities. The next philosopher doesn't need any introduction. He was not the scientific person, he was purely divine and Islamic scholar, and he was a Sunni, a Sufi and a mystic scholar, and his name was Imam Ghazali. Next is Nafis. He was born in 1213. Ibn Nafis was a theologian, he was a philosopher, scientist, and he did a lot of discoveries in the field of anatomy and physiology. He discovered pulmonary and systemic circulation, also coronary circulation and peripheral circulation as well. He became the chief physician in the central hospital of Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi. In 17th century, William Harvey did the groundbreaking research in the field of blood circulation, and but about 200 years later, 1924, there were some old documents were found in the university which proved that it was not actually William Harvey, it was Ibn Nafis who actually discovered systemic circulation, pulmonary circulation, about 400 years before William Harvey has discovered these things. In fact, he went one step ahead, and Ibn Nafis said that he believed that the blood in the right side of the heart does not go to the left side of the heart. In order to do so, he has to go through a very long pathway, which again he was talking about the different type of circulation. The peak of the Golden Age was between 800 till 1150 AD, about 350 years, and then afterwards slowly it died off. The basic reason why the Muslim became so so successful, that is because they were very dedicated. They were willing to go out of their comfort zone. They were willing to go to the completely strange place, to in fact sometimes a hostile place as well, in order to gain knowledge and to increase the status of Islam. I've got no hesitation in saying that they were definitely ahead of today's Islam. Unfortunately, there's a huge gap between the divine knowledge and the worldly knowledge. The people who are having these two different type of knowledge, there's a wide sort of gap today. Unfortunately, it never used to be like this before. The basic reason why they were very successful, because they were using the teachings of Quran and the teaching of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with very open mind, and they used to discuss things, and they used to welcome questions as well. And their selection used to be with their knowledge and merit. And that was the main issue why they were, and they were able to openly discuss different topics without being feared to be labeled as sinners or kafirs. And that's why they were able to excel and got those success as well. Slowly, people have started to forget these heroes. Even the Muslims are forgetting these heroes as well. The wonders the Muslims have done in the past, in the medieval time. Why? Because in this day and age, Muslims sadly have not given us anything groundbreaking or anything original in the last 500 years. If they have given some success in different areas, some people have actually outcast them out of their club. So this is very sad. So inshallah, I'll conclude my topic, and I hope you like this topic. And inshallah, the next topic would be the causes of the Muslim, why the Muslims are backward, the reasons. Inshallah, we'll discuss on that. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.